Good morning, everybody, and hope that you're doing well. We are just a few minutes late here, and just had to reset a little bit from last night, so apologize for the lateness of the morning here, and just a couple minutes off, but hopefully it doesn't throw your schedule off too much. We're in Daniel chapter number 2. Hope that you're doing well. Hit that share button real quick there. If you're just now jumping on, hit that share button so others can connect with us here today live on our Power Up. Once again, hope the morning finds you well and trust that you're got a great day planned and excited about it. Man, I had a good time in church last night. Good group of God's people in the Lord's house. Good study in God's Word as well. And look forward to what God has for us this morning. Let me remind you about some of the events of the weekend as we get started here. Don't forget, our young people will be heading to their youth conference Saturday, and they're leaving the church here at 7 o'clock and heading on down for their youth conference. They'll be returning probably about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, something like that. And they'll have a wonderful time. They'll also be stopping for dinner. So if you've got a young person that's going, don't forget to send them with some money for food. And that'll be good for good fellowship, good preaching for our young people this Saturday. And then we've got Sunday, we've got services, regular services. Sunday night, we'll have a missionary with us. So would encourage you to come ready to be challenged in the area of missions, and look forward to meeting this missionary as well. So that'll be Sunday night, and excited about that. All right, here we go. Let's look. We're in Daniel chapter 2. Once again, push that share button. Let's look at verse number 12 here, okay? Remember, we're right in the middle of Nebuchadnezzar's dream. He's given all of his, let's see if we can find the verse here. He's called all of his magicians, astrologers, sorcerers, Chaldeans, to show the king his dream. So he's called everybody that's in the know, he's called them in. Everybody that can help out in this area, he's called in to interpret his dream. And one of the tests he's running out there is they've got to be able to tell him what the dream is first. Let's look at verse number 12. For this cause the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. He calls all these guys out, and they cannot tell him what his dream is. In fact, in verse number 11, the Chaldeans say, and it is a rare thing that the king requireth, and there is none other that can show it before the king except the gods, whose dwelling is not with the flesh. So they give this King Nebuchadnezzar, this is a rare thing for somebody to be asking, how can we know what it is that you've dreamed? Okay. And so Nebuchadnezzar, in his fury, then orders all of his wise men to be destroyed, to be killed. And let's look at this, verse 13. And the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain. Remember, Daniel and we'll call them his fellows, but those that were with Daniel, they were very special people. You look at chapter 1 and verse number 4. We could go back, verse number 3. It says that there were the king's seed and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored, skillful in all wisdom, cunning in knowledge, understanding science, such as had ability in them to stand the king's palace. And so Daniel, being one of these wise men, and his fellows, obviously they were the cream of the crop that were brought back from Israel. And so they're seeking out Daniel and his fellows to be slain. Verse 14. Then Daniel answered with counsel and wisdom to Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, which was gone forth to slay the wise men of Babylon. And so Daniel goes to address Arioch, the man who is charged with destroying these wise men. And he answered and said to Arioch, the king's captain, why is the decree so hasty from the king? Then Arioch made the thing known to Daniel. Then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time and that he would show the king the interpretation. Then Daniel went to his house and made the thing known to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, that they would desire mercies of the God of heaven concerning the secret, that Daniel and his fellows should not perish in the rest of the wise men of Babylon. And so Daniel goes into the king, says, give me some time, and I will give you the interpretation of the dream. He then gathers Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah with him, and they pray. They seek the Lord for the Lord to give them wisdom, to give them knowledge in what is going on with Nebuchadnezzar. In verse number 19, then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. I want you to note. Actually, let's do this really quick. Daniel answered and said, here's how he blessed the God of heaven. Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. And he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. I thank thee and praise thee, O thou God of my fathers, who hast given me wisdom and might, and hast made known unto me now what we desired of thee. For thou hast now made known unto us the king's matter. And so just kind of quick thought here. Daniel, when presented with this problem, this difficulty that Daniel himself, he cannot answer, but because he values his life and obviously does not want to lose it, he goes to the king and he buys some time. He says, King Nebuchadnezzar, give me some time and I will bring forth the interpretation of it. So there's some risk in this, okay? Obviously, the sort of thing, he's bought some time, but the risk is this, that what if he can't bring back the interpretation? Okay, so there's that risk, but he's already a dead man if he does nothing. Okay, and then we note this. So he goes to the Lord. He asks his friends to pray with him, and let me tell you, man, there is definitely something to be said for praying with people, getting people to pray with you about certain things. And man, I would encourage you, not out of pride, but encourage people to pray with you and for you about things. But I want as many people on my side as I can get, and that's through the avenue of prayer, and that's talking with God. And then I want you to know this. We note this, that Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, they pray, they seek the Lord's face. God answers the prayer. God reveals it to him in secret. And what does Daniel do immediately? The secret's revealed unto Daniel in the night vision. Verse number 20, Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name of God. Daniel goes immediately back to God in prayer and thanks him and praises him for who he is and thanks him. He says, I thank thee and praise thee, O God of my fathers, verse number 23, who has given me wisdom and might. And so he thanks the Lord for revealing what he's revealed to Daniel. Okay, now, Daniel has prayed. God has given him the interpretation thereof and the dream. Daniel has then thanked the Lord. Okay, now, he then goes to verse number 24. He then goes back to Arioch, who is the king's captain, who has been tasked with killing the wise men. He goes to the king. Verse 24, Therefore Daniel went in unto Arioch, whom the king had ordained to destroy the wise men of Babylon. He went and said thus unto him, Destroy not the wise men of Babylon. Bring me in before the king, and I will show unto the king the interpretation. So Daniel now intercedes for all of the wise men of Babylon, these magicians, astrologers, Chaldeans, and so on, and the wise men here. He intercedes for them. He says, Destroy not the wise men of Babylon. And he says at the end of verse 24, I will show unto the king the interpretation. And then verse 25, Then Arioch brought in Daniel before the king in haste. Okay? And this kind of Arioch's interaction with Daniel, these wise men, and then him going to the king in haste. I don't think Arioch wanted to do this in destroying all of these wise men of Babylon. And the fact that he listens to Daniel in the first place, Arioch doesn't go in and hastily kill Daniel, but allows Daniel to speak, brings Daniel before the king. And now Daniel comes back to him with the interpretation, says, Arioch, I've got the interpretation. Let's let the king know. He goes with haste. Hey, let's get this taken care of. Hey, let's handle this now. And he said unto him, I have found a man of the captives of Judah that will make known unto the king the interpretation. And so And so we're kind of right in the middle of this story now. Daniel has been, this interpretation has been revealed to Daniel. He's ready to reveal it to the king. But one thought I want to drive home, we'll kind of end this today, is I want you to note who Daniel went to first. He went to the Lord. He gathered his friends around for a prayer meeting, and they went before the Lord, and they got on their hands and their knees probably, and sought the Lord's face and sought for wisdom in this area, much like they do throughout this book. Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So I want to just encourage you as we close up shop here today, is I want to encourage you and just kind of challenge you. Who do you run to when life's got you down? Who do you run to when there's difficulty? I hope that you run to the Lord. And then I want to encourage you, don't be afraid to ask people to pray for you. Don't be afraid to share prayer requests. I think it's very important to share those prayer requests and to get people on your side and to have people praying for you. And so let's do a better job, if you will, of seeking the Lord first and seeing God work. And I would also say this, one last thought in regards to wisdom. Daniel, being a wise man, here is very wise in going to the Lord and asking the Lord for wisdom in the situation. James tells us that we need to ask for wisdom, and we have not because we ask not. And wisdom God gives to all men liberally. And so let's be a people that seek wisdom, that seek the Lord first. Okay, we're going to end with that this morning. We'll look at the dream tomorrow, the dream that Daniel interprets tomorrow, and it's quite lengthy there. I'm not sure if we'll finish out the entirety of chapter number 2, but we'll see what we can do. All right, let's greet those that have commented live here this morning. Hopefully you all are doing well on this fine day. Cliff and Karen, good morning to you. Hope you guys have a good day. Ingrid, good morning to you. Love you. Have an awesome day. Charlie and Marcia, good morning to you both. Hope you guys are both doing well. David, good morning to you. Have a great day. I just missed it there. Dennis and Geraldine, good morning to you both. Hope you guys are both doing well. Carol, thank you so much. And Dave, thank you so much for being on today. Hope you guys are doing well in Florida there. And it's a little chillier today, but thank you. And then Luke, thank you so much for commenting as well. And thank you for just the thought there. The avenue of prayer is so neglected, I think, in our lives. We need to seek God first. All right, Lord bless you all. Have a wonderful day. Be sure to share if you haven't done so. And Lord willing, we'll be back at it tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.